Hello guys! Again, welcome back to my YT channel. Oh my gosh. Just like lightning and very fast to come back again with another set of problem solving in quantum mechanics. Oh my gosh. Okay, but first I have to set up my laptop. Okay. Oh my gosh, it's happening.
The Bluetooth device is ready to pair.
So, I have to find another problems na siya. Okay, second problem for quantum mechanics. So, I have here my akong mga combined problems, a collection of problem solvings for reduced engineering board examination. Okay, and also sample problems in physics, chemistry, and a little bit of minor subjects in chemical engineering. Okay, why I say minor? Because this is not yet the major effect. Charot. This is not a major packet. Sa major chemical engineering, there's a lot of unit operations stuff. It's not yet being touched there. Okay, it's just only for the basic muna. So later we'll be going there also. So we should develop first the basic foundation before going to the major topics in chemical engineering. Okay, something like that. Speaking about chemical engineering, guys, chemical engineering coverage is my highest score when I talk up in chemical engineering. Oh, but I don't like. So it sounds very, it sounds very ridiculous, right? You don't like, but then you have a high score. Okay? Meaning to say, I put efforts too much in that area because I found I am very weak. Not very, I'm weak in that particular area. Okay? Because, I have the strength in physical and chemical sciences. Okay? These things. That's why, and then nagkumpiyansa ako, okay, nalabuan siya sa chemical engineering. Okay? Because there are 3 coverage when you take up the BS Chemical Engineering Board licensure examination catered by the Philippine Regulation Commission. So first, the general engineering, something like that. Second will be the physical and chemical principles that involves a lot of sciences there. Okay? And then engineering mechanics and strength of the materials belongs to the general engineering in our part. I don't know with other engineering courses. Okay, that's day 1, something like that. But in our time, our day 3 is the chemical engineering. Okay, our day 2 is the physical and chemical principles, something like that. Okay, so these things I share to you is all about physical and chemical principles pa siya. A little mixture of minor lang siya for the chemical engineering stuff, something like that. I'll not yet touched the major in the chemical engineering, the unit operations, the chemical reaction engineering, okay, the industrial process and controls, something like that, okay, and also a little bit of chemical process industries. Wow, may ganun. If we have the industrial chemical process controls, we have also the chemical process and industry subjects, right? They're related with each other. Since as a chemical engineering student or an engineer in the future, we need to know different kinds of products man siya. Not limited to one kind of product. Okay, for example, petroleum industry, plastic industry, rubber industry, metallurgy industry, cement industry, like that. A lot, right? So there are a lot of products. It could be solid, liquid, and gas, and we need to develop basic foundation for that in chemical process industries, CPI. It's there being discussed, the manufacturing of certain products, the processes involved, whether it is physical or chemical, the formulation of the ingredients of the particular products, the raw materials. Okay, it's being discussed there. So this is very helpful, chemical process industries, really. So this subject not involves calculation, only slight chuba chuchu, but here, the purpose of this chemical process industry is one of the subjects in chemical engineering is to develop chemical engineering students. What will be their roles in the future? Okay, if they will be working in different industries. Okay, because it's impossible you will work in all industries. Okay, just like me now, I'm working in a cement industry. So this is only one. Okay, there's a lot. Petroleum industry, like that. So after this, maybe I will be going to another industry. So that's the purpose. We need to have an information and knowledge because it's not limited to one industry. Okay, like that. Okay, so it will be just a perfect timing if you like that industry for the rest of your life. What if you don't like anymore? Then you have to shift to another industry. Something like that. You get the point? So in that industry, you have also to manage different, techniques, processes like that. You have to learn. You have to start with zero. And that's the time you'll be able to remember your acquired knowledge and stack knowledge in that particular product. Because it's not the same already with your previous products, okay, that you are in the old industries that you are joining with. Okay, something like that. It's very useful, right? So this chemical process and industries. I love that, really. Okay, there's a lot of memorization. Okay, you have to understand and memorization. Okay, without memorization, I will never pass Bachelor of Science in Chemical Engineering licensure examination. Okay, to tell you honestly and frankly. Okay, because I'm not good in numbers. Okay. That's it. Okay, going back to another problem. Okay, memorization good guys ha. Okay, module na siya. Bisig sa mga medical courses, okay, memorization number 1. The application will be there later, but it's very good to start with memorization. And then after memorization, you will apply all what you had memorized. You can operate now a patient, actual. You can remove the teeth of the patient if you are a Bachelor of Science in Dentistry, ganon. Bachelor of Science in Medical Technologies, application na later on. You will get blood sample, urine sample. But before going that, you start with the theory, right, in your minor subjects, before becoming a professional, a licensed medical technologist, a licensed nurse, a licensed physician, or a doctor. Starts talaga siya, memorization. Tindanay yun yung ako my gosh. Kaya later naman yun mga applications. Mabitong natay laboratory, okay? Later siya. Kaya imo mang i-apply ang theories, okay? How it works na in actual. Something like that. Okay. Question number 2. Charot. So, akong gipili ni siya kay general siya. Applicable to other elements or non-metals or metals or element or non-element. Okay, non-element is non-metals. Okay, non-element is a gas. All of them are elements, right? So, metal and non-metal lang pala siya. Okay? You got the point? Okay, a certain metal has a work function of 3.06 times 10 to the negative 19 joules. Light, again, light siya. Imong timan-an nga, mga ingana siya Fermi, photon, light, electrons, particles, mga ganun. So imo dira yung i-troubleshoot sa imong brain cells. I-apply na ko ang quantum mechanics formula. Mo na first guys, if you solve the problems, the applicability and the suitability, were those formulas and equations being applied? Okay, dili nimo siya irambol-rambol kay maglibog ka mga wa sa imong brain cells. Okay? Ganun siya. Labi na daghan kay kagitun-an. Okay na. Ini ka-actual malibog na ka mawala, something like that. Okay, so imo jud i-focus saan ra siya nga problem. Okay, so calculate the kinetic energy of the electrons ejected. Kinetic energy siya, di ba? So imo hinumduman guys that kinetic energy related to electrons. So this is not related to the kinetic energy in the horizontal surface, ganon. When a car moving from point A to point B, when an airplane goes up to the sky, this is not applicable there. Because this is electrons. Meaning, this is micro scale, sub atomic particles in matter. Okay, something like that. So, what is the speed of the electron? Oh my goodness, speed of the electron. Meaning, in this question, we are not interested with the direction. As long as we are computing the speed of that particular electron, where it goes. Where it goes, left to right, up and down, southeast, northeast, it's not our concern. Because he is only asking the speed, the scalar quantity, which is the magnitude only, not the direction. Okay? Mo gina siya difference, guys. If the problem asks for velocity, you should troubleshoot the direction where it goes. But if the problem is asking for the speed, you don't have to worry about the direction of that particle. Okay? Copy? Something like that, because we need to understand what is a scalar quantity and a vector quantity, which is discussed clearly in physics. Okay? Walang katapusang mga ganito in physics. Okay? We should to categorize them. For example, force, scalar, vector. Pressure, scalar, vector. Ganon. Density, scalar, vector. O ganon. Mass flow rate, scalar or vector. Volumetric flow rate. Okay? Scalar, vector. Pressure, temperature, concentration, volume, kinetic energy, potential energy. There's a lot of operating conditions and operating parameters, and you should learn that one by one. Okay? Especially that is very useful in processes. Or okay? Because most of the times, chemical engineering graduates or registered chemical engineers will be assigned being a process engineer. So you need to know that. Okay? The basics and the chemistry involved in different processes. Basic lang po siya. Ayan itong mga ano lang siya ba? Okay? What will happen to the pressure if we increase the temperature? Mga ganun lang. Okay, what will happen to the volume if we increase this? Ganon. Oh, we have to adjust the ganon. So that's the job of the process engineer. Okay? Like that. And the conversion of raw materials of the product. Nakamaudyo ka. Okay? Something like that. So you should not be bookish, of course. Kamao ka mo diskarte. Okay, with your own, mental ability. Okay? Something like that. Diskarte is very necessary in an engineer attitude. Okay, not only by the book. You have to, basta makuan na mo siya in the actual. Okay? What I mean. Okay, letter, muna siya. Ang problem. Okay, ganon. Okay. So, ako din i-relate niyo guys. I'm an occupational safety health engineer. Then there's also one time that we need to put the firefighting equipment at the top level. Okay? And then my colleague doesn't know how to compute the pressure. Right? Since this is very easy, I can compute for the pressure, even though how high is that? Applying the Bernoulli theorem. So that we can design what are the materials to be used to have that kind of firefighting equipment, because it needs pressure to flow the water to the top from the ground, and we need to compute for the pressure. Okay? Something like that. So we will use the elevation, and then the desired operating pressure will be obtained. Okay? Something like that. So we have the formula for that. So bingo! We can now, it needs 38 meters to have this kind of pressure. So that's what I told you. So you can apply really your knowledge in actual work. Okay? So in that way, if I don't know how to compute the pressure formula for that, then I could not answer my colleague, because we need to record what pressure is needed for this, what particular elevation. Then you have to use the pressure formula. Okay? For elevation pressure formula. Gano'n siya ha. Okay. Very clear. Magamit mo siya sa apply, sa actual work. Okay? I-calculate mo ang pressure. Okay. Kung ba siya, ang water, masaka man na dito sa taas, masaka na din siya basta-basta. Okay? My gosh. So that's the, the power of knowledge. Okay? Ganun siya. Okay, guys? Going back without microphone. Okay? I love to use microphone because my voice will be intensified. And there's an echo, chuva, chuchu, and, it's very loud, and, the voice intensity, ganun, perfect siya. But without, it's okay also, but I need to have the microphone. Okay? Ganun siya. Okay, going back, guys, to the problem. Sa ganito gipangita. Okay? Ang gipangita niya kay mauni. Wow. Okay. Mag-drawing sa ako ha. Okay. I will show an illustration of photoelectric effect. Wow. Okay. Ganon. Ganon siya. A beam of light shines to the metallic plate. And the metallic plate, we don't know yet because it was not mentioned in the problem. Okay? Something like that. So this is the metallic plate. Ganon. This one. And then this is a beam of light. Something like this here. Ganon siya. For example, this, incandescent bulb. Or shall we say a fluorescent. Like that. It will shine. Like this. Okay? And then it will produce light ray. Right? Ganon. 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 It will contact to the metallic plate. And this light ray is specifically the particle called photon. Okay, it carries electromagnetic force. Okay, to react with the electrons in the metallic plate. So after that, after shining or giving light to the metallic plate, it will knocks out. Knocks out meaning tangtangon niya ang electrons sa metallic plate. So nangakatag na siya ang electrons diri, ganon, scattered. Ganon. Simon yung mga electrons. Okay. Pero dili sa tanan ha, not all electrons will go out from the metallic plate. Yung enough lang sad siya to compensate the energy of the photon being confined to in that particular reaction or electromagnetic reaction for that particular metallic plate. Yung ganun siya. Okay? So, some of the electrons will leave, right? From the metallic plate away. And then these electrons, if they can see a conductive material, they will go there and it will produce an electrical energy. For example, they will see a path. For example, a wire, a cable, electrical cable, whatever. Then it will produce an electrical energy coming out from the metallic plate. Something like that, okay? So, technically or scientifically, energy of a photon will be equal now to the energy of the electron during equilibrium process, during photoelectric effect. It is understood that this photon electrical rays, okay, electrical na siya, kaya shine naman siya kuan, light. Okay, the energy is higher than the electrons. Okay, the energy of a photon particle is higher always to the electrons energy from the metallic plate. Okay, for example, this is copper. Okay, copper Cu positive 2. So 2 is the electrons automatically. Do not be confused guys oh my gosh, this is a copper and there's no electrons in the copper because that is not a negatively charged particle. No, it's not. That positive 2 would be an electron during redox equation when nanata sa process. Okay, you got the point? It's still an electron, a proton when it is not yet in the process. You get the point? Wala pa siya hilabti, wala pa siya ni-react. Murag ako naglingkod pa ko. Wala pa ko mulihok. So kuan pa ko copper, and then when I eat the food, nilihok na ko. Okay? So mahimo siyang electrons ang particles sa akong lawas. Gano rin nga na siya mga understanding. Okay, i-move naman siya to combine in the reaction. Muna siya redox. Okay, reduction and oxidation. Magamit po diri siya sa quantum mechanics. Okay? So, copper, di man gud na siya negative charge. Positive man gud na siya. So, maingon sa taka nga, negative ta na siya, sir. Anong positive ba na siya? No, it's not man kay ang process, when it undergoes process, diha pa siya mahimong negative or electrons nga iyang i-share to other element. In here, the metallic plate, for example, copper shares to the photon. Okay? Mo na siya, nahimo na siyang negative. Okay? Like that. So, it's gonna be the process. And now, electrical energy will be produced just like this. Nabalik. Okay. Okay, just like this. Okay, muna siya ang principle behind photoelectric effect. Okay? Now, di ba murag ano ra siya? Di siya lisod. Okay? Okay. Mas lisod gitong wave theory. Okay? But sige lang. Ato itong balikan. Charot. Okay, now, I have the given. Ako siyang isuwat ha. Charot. Naawit mo kong suwat, oy. In fairness. Okay. What is the threshold frequency? This is just another term introduced. Threshold frequency. Just like in occupational safety and health, we have also threshold level for different exposure of the chemicals. Okay, the amount of contaminants or concentration that will be safely exposed to the workers at 8 hours without imminent danger to the health. That's the definition of threshold level of different chemical substances or gases when it exposed to the atmosphere or the environment. It's just like that also. We have also threshold frequency, meaning to say this is a frequency, an amount or a level of a frequency necessary to compensate to have no imminent danger to the environment and to the people. The only difference is we apply this threshold frequency in terms of quantum mechanics, and the other one, threshold leveling of the substances, are involved in occupational safety and health. Pero maura gyapon ang bot pasabot sa threshold. Ano siya, limit gid ni siya para safe during the exposure to the environment and to the human being involved in that particular scenario or in that particular habitat or in that particular workplace or whatever chuchu. Okay, whatever chuchu, schools, workplace, company. So, dili siya makadaot. Okay, so meaning pala, there's also time that if there's an overexposure to the light ray, it will cause also a negative effects to the human being. Because we have threshold. Okay? The limit or the level or the standard limit that this light rays can be exposed to human being and to the environment. So there's a leveling. Okay? So in this kind of situation, this is the job of the occupational safety and health industrial hygienist. Okay? Because this is physical and monitoring in the environment, such as the light, exposure, radiation, vibration, the noise. So these are the job of the occupational safety and health hygienist, or industrial hygienist, which is also belong to the safety department. But not all safety department has this kind of position, because normally it can be covered also by a safety engineer. Okay, or an OSH engineer to do this stuff, especially if your company is having the environmental monitoring device. This is called environmental monitoring. Okay, EM. Okay, something like that. This is also a job of the industrial hygienist. But the environmental engineer can also do this job. Okay, as well as the safety engineer. But priority talaga ang environmental engineer and the industrial hygienist. But then if your company are doing the multitasking job, that's the time the safety engineer can do what the environmental engineer can do, what the industrial hygienist can do. Especially like me, I can do also what they are trying to do. As long as we have that device, and of course, if the safety engineer has also adequate knowledge of the parameters to be, to be tested or to be monitored. Basta naalang yun siya device, bingo na yun na siya. Okay, because usually engineers know how to interpret. Okay, know how to interpret the manual, the specifications in the manual and the instructions in the manual, because it's written in English. Internationally, it's impossible you cannot understand. Okay, you get the point? And the English also are not very difficult to understand in manuals. Any products have manual specifications and instructions, and it's written in English, and there's a lot of interpretation, and it's impossible you cannot understand the terms there because it's not very deep. Okay, the words and terminologies are not profound. You can really understand. Okay, it's not complex. You will never be perplexed if you read that one. Perplexed meaning you will never be confused. Okay, another term for confused is perplex. Perplex. Deep terminology of confused. Okay, or you will never be steering your mind. Okay, something like that when you read the instructions. Something like that, guys, right? Okay, going back to the questions. Threshold frequency. Ayun mo kalibog ang threshold frequency. Puno rin na siya nga term. Pero maorigin na siya dito. Musod na siya dito nga formula. Okay, sa Planck, Max Planck constant. Ako lang gi-specify nga ang threshold mo na siya meaning. Okay? Certain limit or level nga dili jud siya makadaot sa environment o sa tao. Okay, so meaning pala, if the lights also are over exposure, a lot of very strong wavelength, makadaot siya because na siya yung mga radiation effect through your eyes, and your eyes will become strained easily, and it will go, the light ray will go to your respiratory system, something like that. So makadaot man siya, especially yung mga mga gamma ray, di ba? X-ray. So part man na siya sa mga light na involved man na siya photoelectric effect. Mga ganon-ganon, chuba-chuchu inside our body. Okay? Ang kanang X-ray. Okay? So that's also under also quantum mechanics study in general chemistry lecture. Okay? X-rays and laser. Okay, laser in operation in the hospitals that involves the principle of quantum mechanics through lasers, and electrons there are very, are considered there to penetrate in your respiratory organ, kidney organ, liver organ, like that. Laser, light amplification, simulation, emission, radiation, laser, and the word radiation here is very